So Domantas Sabonis has been really good for the Indiana Pacers this year, and I've seen it on different places on the internet, whether it's Twitter or Reddit or random comment sections on YouTube, the idea that Sabonis is better than Myles Turner and he should be playing over Turner. And I've also seen some people suggest that the Pacers should look to trade Myles Turner and have Sabonis be the full-time 5 with Oladipo, and then you use Turner to get like some other player. So let's talk about these things. Now, the box score numbers would suggest that Sabonis is better than Turner. Okay, he's averaging more points, more rebounds, more assists. And when you combine that with the way that Myles Turner's offense has been a little bit of a disappointment, given that it's his 4th season and we all see how athletic he is, how nimble he is moving around the floor, rolling to the rim, as well as his jump shot, right? You would expect at this point in his 4th season, he'd be putting up more than 12 points a game. And I mean, I've said these things a lot of times on this channel, so I get it. But I don't think that tells the whole story. Number one, I do think Myles Turner does have a bit of Al Horford in him, where his impact is not totally felt on the box score, okay? And by the way, if we are going to look at his box score, he's also averaging 3 blocks a game. We should give him credit for that one. And I do want to start there because I think Myles Turner's defense has perhaps become a little underrated. The Pacers are 3rd in defensive rating. Last season, they were 13th when we all thought they were going to be terrible. And I don't think Turner's the entire reason for that, because Oladipo is a very good defender, and Thad Young knows what he's doing, and hell, I think Bojan is actually kind of not bad as well. And Darren Collison, yeah, he's a small guy, and he's going to get beat sometimes, but I don't think he's a disaster defensively. But even so, like with all that, I think Myles Turner is a pretty big reason for this. One, his rim protection is definitely better than the average NBA player. I think he's also got a decent amount of lateral quickness, and I mean, he's not too heavy. He's around 250 pounds, which means, sure, I'm not going to ask him to switch all day, every day against perimeter players, but if he has to do it, it's not a guarantee that he's going to get beat all the time, right? And that's valuable stuff. I mean, you could even argue that Myles Turner, based on the fact that he's 22 and he already has this defensive impact and his blocks are where they are, is there a chance that he could be in the running for a Defensive Player of the Year? Maybe not this season, but somewhere down the road? I guess it's a possibility. Now, I'm not saying that Sabonis is a bad defender, because all the defensive numbers with him seem pretty good, and one thing with Sabonis is, because he's such a better rebounder than Turner is, I think that kind of closes the gap between them defensively, because with Turner, like, yeah, he could have a really good defensive possession, but the chances of the opposing team grabbing an offensive board with him out there, it's a bit higher than Sabonis, right? And I think that matters. But even so, I would say Turner's defensive impact is better than Sabonis's. But of course, there are two sides to the floor. Offensively, I think you could argue Sabonis has been better on offense than Myles Turner. I mean, for one, Sabonis, one of the better offensive rebounders in the league. His energy around the rim is just awesome. Whether it's rolls to the basket or just dump-off passes, or hell, he's even been kind of good on post-ups this season. And with his playmaking, where he's getting about 3 assists a game, and a lot of that is like he'll be posting up and then somebody will cut, or I think I've even seen a few times where he's doing like what Drummond would do last year, where he was like out on the top of the key, and then somebody will cut inside. So, you know, I think if you're saying Turner's better on defense and Sabonis is better on offense, then who do I think has been better? I think overall Sabonis has been better this season. Would I think about starting him over Turner or anything? No, because I think Turner's ceiling is still higher. Because, like, look, shooting matters, okay? And I still believe Myles Turner can be, even if he's not going to be some knockdown three-point shooter, I believe he can still just have a really big impact as at least a mid-range kind of dude. Like, one thing we have to say is, between Oladipo, Bojan, signing Tyreek Evans, the fact that Darren Collison has the ball a lot of the time, and like he's not a bad playmaker. I know he just had a crap ton of assists the other day, but I would not consider him to be like one of the better point guards in the league. even if I would still not mind having him on my team. But still, there's no great passer on this team. There's also just a lot of dudes who like to shoot. So Turner just probably hasn't gotten enough of an opportunity to take shots. I mean, we thought he was going to do it last year, and then Oladipo, of course, went off. So, yeah, I'm not aboard the whole Myles Turner sucks, start Sabonis full-time thing. Now, what are the chances that you can play them together? I mean, I think the Pacers would love for this to be the thing. And I guess you could see a realm of possibility where it could be the case, because Sabonis can be around the rim playing the 5. Turner, because he's a little more athletic and because he can shoot a little bit more, you think he can play power forward. It works more in theory than in actual practice, I would say. I mean, maybe it would have worked 6 years ago. It doesn't really work now. Because Turner, of course, can't step out to 3. He's not a bad perimeter defender in terms of, like, his position, but it's still not really good enough to play a lot of power forward. Their net rating together with those two, for the season, it's like dead even, I believe. It's like a net rating of 0, which, I mean, to be fair, is not bad. It's certainly not good, but it's not terrible. However, if you go through like certain increments of the season, like in the last 10 games, Sabonis and Turner together is like a -2.5. I mean, there is a chance that these two playing together is kind of like the new Rudy Gobert, Derek Favors, where you would love to make it work and you try to do everything you can, but it just doesn't happen. Now, I don't know, okay? There's a chance that they could play great together. There's a chance they couldn't. I don't know. I mean, if I was the Pacers, I would definitely put more time into that, which would probably be the rest of this season and then potentially into like midway of next year, because Myles Turner's already locked up until 2023. Now, to be fair, he's making $18 million a year, which I think is a very tradable contract. And then Sabonis, I want to assume he's got a team option after next season. So, you know, you could use that as like your baseline of when to make a decision on these two, I guess. Because once Sabonis hits restricted free agency, it would be kind of silly to be paying both of these guys at least, I don't know, $15 million a year if they can't play together, right? Now, another interesting thing is looking at their numbers with Oladipo, because in a way, that is what this all comes down to, is who is better with your star player, right? Myles Turner has played way more minutes with Oladipo than Sabonis has, and their net ratings with him are about the same. Sabonis is a little better, but it's not like a drastic difference, so even there, I don't think the numbers would suggest that there is a right answer between these two just yet. So I think that's where I end up on all this. Sabonis has been better this year. I think Turner's ceiling is still higher. And I think you have about a year to a year and a half to make a decision on these two. Whether that is keep Turner, keep Sabonis, trade the other one for some star that becomes available, or you just keep on trying them playing together and it actually works out. I don't know what the outcome of this is all going to be, but depending on what it is, yeah, if we get to the 2021 season, which will be Oladipo's last year under contract, there's a chance that only one of these dudes is going to be on this team. And the fact that Oladipo's contract is up not too far from now could suggest the Pacers may get a little more aggressive here, because you're trying to hold on to your star. And given that you are right now like a mid-40s win team, you may get a little desperate to get that second star in here. So, yeah, it'll be very interesting to see which route the Pacers go. It'll be interesting to see which one of these two ends up being the better player, because as of right now, again, while I think Sabonis has been the dude this year, I don't think it's crystal clear just yet. So, yeah, the Pacers got some decisions to make. And in the meantime, we can appreciate Domantas Sabonis' floaters that always go in.